1988 Chevrolet K2500, 55,000 miles. It's the week of OBS trucks here at PC Classic Cars. This is a great one. Let's see what it does out on the open road. This afternoon, we are in a 1988 Chevrolet K2500 with 55,715 actual miles. This is a clean Carfax, clean Autocheck. No accidents or damage ever reported for this pickup, so no history issues, just ready to go on that front. And just a cool, clean OBS style truck. Retains its original numbers matching fuel injected 5.7 or 350, whatever you would prefer to call it. And then obviously backed by the overdrive transmission, which is a 700R4. It shifts up through the gears, down through the gears, in and out of reverse exactly like it should. So no problems there at all. You have your power steering, you have your power front disc brakes. I have the AC on because it's almost 100 degrees here in Texas, and it is converted to R134A, and it blows nice and cold. The air has a great amount of volume. Blower motor is doing its job. I got it on the medium setting right now. Kick it up to high, has even more volume of air, so it really works great. Inside this truck is super comfortable going down the road. As far as your exhaust system, still has the original style manifolds and a factory single style exhaust. If y'all watch the videos, you know I love Flowmasters, but if you like a quieter exhaust, this truck falls into that category. Really sounds good. Getting into the throttle a little bit heavier here so you guys can hear it. But again, really more motor than it is exhaust. But performance-wise, there is nothing for me to note on this one. It does everything you want a truck to do. On the interior, it's the factory Garnet Red interior. It's really maroon. I don't know why they call it red, but it's maroon interior. Seat cover is fantastic. The top of the dash looks really good. The lower portion of the dash with the glove box and the RPO codes and just some basic owner's manual stuff in the glove box over there. We can pop that open, which looks great. You have your factory heat and AC controls, your factory stereo, factory cassette deck. To be honest, I do not know if the factory cassette is working because I don't have any to put in there, but the stereo itself does function properly. You have your factory gauges, you have tilt, and you have cruise. And for me, the best thing, this is a manual window, manual lock truck. I love the lower options, just less electronic stuff to go wrong, and they're easy to roll up and they are easy to roll down, and the locks work properly. You have your factory four-wheel drive selector here on the ground. Floor mats look good, carpet looks good, the seat foam feels fantastic. It is not a difficult truck to drive, and you can take this on longer distances. I will say the cargo light button over here is a little bit faded. Steering wheel is nice, and then there's a few little scuffs in the door panels themselves. Headliner, visors, dome lens, all of that stuff works properly. As far as some items that are not working, unfortunately, when you kick your headlights on, your dome light is not working, and then your little map lights here, when you kick those on or kick those off, they're not doing anything. And then the shifter indicator has been a little bit temperamental. Right now, the shifter indicator, the little orange arm, is working. Previously, it was not, so I'm guessing the connection point between there might need a little work at some point, but really the small things are going to be the shifter indicator, and then your dome lights, and then your little map lights here are not working. That does the work section, can be found on the website pcclassiccars.com. How y'all are going to find that is you are going to click on the inventory, you are going to click on this truck, you are going to scroll to the bottom of the page, you will see the Autocheck, you will see the Carfax, you will see the motor numbers, the VIN numbers, the RPO codes, the imperfections on the truck. All of that will be within that additional media section, so make sure you guys check that out. But we are warmed up, we are where it wants to be, so we're going to go ahead and get in a little bit. And performance-wise, again, they're not crazy high horsepower setups, don't have a ton of torque either, but it's not what they were designed for. This is a truck, it was a 2500, it was built to work. But if you want to drive this thing every day, it has plenty of power to get you up to cruising speeds, and you don't feel like a slouch out on the open road. It has, again, plenty of power to do what you want it to do. On the underneath, the floors and the inner rockers are great. The bottom side of the bed is rust-free and solid as you want it to be. The bottoms of the fenders, the bottoms of the doors, all of that really checks out nice. I don't see any rust problems outside of a little bit of surface corrosion on the non-painted parts, but it really is a clean undercarriage. The exhaust and the front drive shaft do have a little surface corrosion as well, which you will see in the photos, but that is not an area of concern. That is just age related. Really is a good, clean undercarriage like a 55,718 mile truck should represent like. On the exterior, it's a factory two-tone truck. Red over ultra silver. You obviously have your pinstripe. Paint quality looks good. The front of the hood has some stone chips. The tops of the bed rails and the bed rails where it meets over on the edge of the bed sides do have some imperfections and scuffs. You'll see photos of that in the additional media section. There's a couple little scuffs on the roof, other little spots walking around the truck like little age-related areas, a couple little scuffs down low on the bed side here right in front of the rear tire on the driver's side. All just small stuff. You'll see photos of it in the additional media tab on the website pcclassiccars.com. You got a nice drop-in bed liner in the back, nothing wrong with that out back. Tailgate opens and closes properly. You do have the rally wheels with, I believe, a 2021 date code on the tires, but there is no dry rot. There is no cracking of any kind when it comes to the tires. They are ready to roll. They check out nice. Rolls really, really well. There's no hard spots within the tires. I would hop in this thing and cruise it to Dallas. I'd drive it to North Carolina if I had to. It's super comfortable in here, and same thing with the ride quality. The suspension, being a 2500, does have a little bit of a more heavy-duty suspension setup, but this one really performs great. It does not beat you to death going down the road. These trucks are known for their reliability as well as still being really comfortable, and this truck definitely falls into that category. The front end feels good. It doesn't have any wobble. It doesn't have any pulling left or right, especially when you hit the brake pedal harder. It stops true and it stops straight. There's no pulsation coming back through the brake pedal. I'm not fighting the steering wheel. It is not grabbing me in either direction. This is a really bumpy road, and I'm really trying to put the truck through its paces, as y'all can see here, and it's doing exactly what I want it to do. It actually drives better than it really should. It's a really comfortable truck. Looking out of the windshield from the driver's position here, clear and easy to see out of the windshield. I see no major problems with the windshield other than a couple little stone nicks down low, a few little ones in the middle of the windshield as well, and then a couple tiny ones over on the passenger side there. You have your manual mirrors on the left and the right. You have your rear view mirror here, which is clear and easy to see out of, with just a few little hazy spots down at the bottom. And then you have your sliding back glass there, which is easy to open if you want to get a little bit of airflow in here if you have AC off. Downshifts like we want it to when we get heavier in the throttle. Pulls well in the upper RPM range. Motor sounds good. As far as both of your doors, they both open and close properly. Your hood opens and closes properly. You have your hood release up under the dash here on the driver's side, and then you have your secondary up underneath the hood. Easy to open, easy to close. Same thing with the tailgate, no problems back there. Got to give a shout out to our chase car and our marketing team. They do a fantastic job sticking with me on these test drive videos. Got to give them a shout out in the comments. As far as when you do pop that hood, everything is great and everything is stock in that engine compartment. This is the original fuel injected 5.7 or 350, again, whatever you prefer. Everything in there is really clean. Your belts, your hoses, your serviceable items, everything really checks out like you want it to check out. Fluids are nice. Nothing to really do on this one. Again, we do have the shifter indicator listed as a no. It's currently working. And then you do have your nose for the dome lens and the little map lights there. So just super small, superficial stuff on this one. You have your little cosmetic imperfections on the bed sides and then in the paint walking around the truck, but it still represents clean. I really like the fact that it is a K2500. We do a lot of the K1500s. The 2500, if you need a little bit heavier duty of a truck and you don't want to buy something brand new, these OBS trucks are fantastic options. The regular cabs, you can load 3 people up in here. Have done that many times, even with the shifter indicator, or excuse me, even with the shifter on the floor there. Having 3 people in here is not uncomfortable. You can take this thing again on a longer road trip. It's easy to drive, has the options that you want. AC. Not sure I would drive something that didn't have AC every day. I'm kind of a prima donna. I don't think I could do it. I don't have the willpower. That's fine. I know my limits. But we got AC, so we're rolling. All right, we're gonna get in here a little bit. downshifts one more time. Pull away from our chase car. And there you guys have it. As always, I'm Michael. This is a 1988 Chevrolet K2500 with 55,000 miles. Stick around for the end of the video. We're gonna hit y'all with a vehicle briefing on it back in the showroom. All right, y'all, we're back after that test drive video. If y'all hadn't figured it out, really cool, awesome, easy driving truck for you guys. Not a lot to complain about. Pretty much like everything that we've had this week, it's been pretty self-explanatory, these later model vehicles. The only things you really got to note on this one, tops of the bed sides on both sides here, on the flat surface, and then as well as where it comes down where it meets the pinstripe. It's got some scuffs. The passenger side is going to be a little worse than the driver side, but take note, it's got some scuffs. There's a few little nicks on the hood and the roof as well. And then your does it work section for this one, we have the shifter indicator listed as a no, you know, the little orange arm. It's intermittent. Like when I just drove it, it actually worked, but then when I put it back, it didn't work, and then it worked again. So something going wrong with the connection between the shifter indicator. Probably the most common thing that goes wrong with these trucks is that. And then you do have your dome lens and your map lights that are not working. Other than that, the truck is really clean underneath. It drives fantastic. So for y'all, overall, it was a really good truck. There's not a whole lot for me to complain about on this one other than the stuff that we just talked about. Do y'all have any questions for me on this one?
I know you drove the 92 F-150 yesterday. How's this one compare to it?
Well, for me, I'm a little biased just because Ford guy, you're a Ford guy. But as far as comparing the two, they really drive about the same. The power is probably a little bit more from the 350, at least just from the feel of it, than the 5-liter. But for a truck like this, it really doesn't matter all that much. It has enough power to get you down the road. The ride quality is extremely comparable. I wouldn't say that a 2500, being that it's a little bit of a stiffer suspension, rides any rougher than the F-150, so that's always nice. The 2500, you get a little bit more heavy duty, but it doesn't change the ride quality. Still retains a really good feel going down the road. Cool. So for y'all, we appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of our test drives and vehicle briefs. If there's anything else that y'all want to see, hit us up on the site. We're always here to listen to our customers and our followers. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys on the next video.